Lovies, it is Amira, also known as Blissfully Mindful. I am going to jump right into it for the chit chat portion of this video. So, I got to share with you all my 6 healthy habits that changed my life. So, you should know what the first one is. Okay, the first one is yoga. You all know I am a 2-decade yogi. I've been doing yoga since forever, and let me tell you, I got into yoga from an undergrad class. So you all know I went to undergrad majors in psychology. So it was an existential psychology class, and it was actually the only existential psychology class that they offered. And when I read the description of that class, I was so immediately intrigued, and I just wanted to learn more. So anyway, signed up for this class. This class ended up being the catalyst that literally changed everything for me. It just completely transformed my whole perception of a life, existence, spirituality, just everything, you know. I come into class one day and the instructor's like, yes, so today, you know, I'm gonna introduce something to you all. Be open-minded. You know, it may not be something that you know anything about, or anything. So it was yoga, and yoga and meditation sort of together, but for the most part it was more like yoga. So she had us do this breathing exercise and then like one yoga pose, and then we combined it, and oh my goodness, it literally, I don't know, something within me just ignited, and I just was obsessed. Then I just became so obsessed with yoga. I wanted to know everything about it, just everything I could read about. I started buying all these books, all these books about yoga, just everything I could find about it. I had to know more, and I had to experience this phenomenon again. So I made it a part of my daily practice. So I started out with like a 10-15 minute yoga routine in the morning, and then it just evolved, into like 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes, which is what I do today. And it also, then from there, it just expanded into so many other things, and it just became this love of mine and this passion of mine that just gave me such a new perspective, and it just became a lifestyle for me. It wasn't just some stretches and bends and breathing, and it was more than that to me. It was just my whole lifestyle, and it was a whole lifestyle shift for me. And I will say it may have been a little difficult for friends and family because, well, you all know, they already think I'm crazy. So it's like, they kind of are like, oh yeah, that sounds like something she'd get into. But the thing is, initially, I never even heard of yoga. I didn't know what it was or anything. And I grew up in a very strict, Christian church household. And so something like that was, it was sort of frowned upon, like, oh, that's just not Christian, like, and that's some devil stuff. Honestly, that's literally the kind of vibe. And I was always, though, rather defiant one. I was always one that, no, if someone told me that was like an invitation for me to investigate it further. And so that's kind of what I did. And I just, like I said, fell in love with it. And I grew up, I've told you, about my mom. Loved my mom to pieces. But my mom, she's had like some mental health struggles. And as a teen and young adult, it was very difficult for me because I guess that's when I started to see it. I'm sure it was there all the time when I was a younger child, but I didn't process it the same way. So I really didn't like see it for what it was. I may have just, as the younger me, might have just said, oh, maybe my mom's just tired today or something like that. Maybe that's kind of how I process it, until then when I'm a teen and I'm like, wow, she hasn't been out of her bed in days, or she, I haven't, or she's very grouchy, I haven't seen her smile in a while. Like, I'm starting to kind of perceive her differently. And so it started to weigh on me a bit. And then, she kind of got more progressively more kind of cranky and stuff. And I didn't really know how to handle it. And it was just a lot. And so I got to be so angry, and I started to internalize that. And that's how yoga helped me, because it helped me to bring it back to me. It helped me to not focus so externally, because no matter what my mom was going through, I couldn't make that my issue, because that's something she's going through that I honestly have no history with it. So I didn't, why am I taking on that luggage? So that's kind of where yoga helped me, because I didn't realize how much tension and stress that I was holding in my muscles. And yoga gave me knowledge of body talk, so that I learned to communicate with my body and understand what my body was telling me about me. And that's how yoga changed my life. So next up, that leads me into meditation. Obviously, they go hand in hand. That instructor certainly introduced us to the meditation as well in that class. However, we didn't dive super deep with it. We just kind of hit the surface of just the benefits of meditation, sort of basic ways about how you go about doing it, and meditation practices, and just some basics. So the further I got into my yoga practice, like I got into Kundalini yoga and stuff like that, the more I got interested in different meditation techniques. And you all, I just got to say, Kachari Mudra, if you don't know what that is, look it up. I'm just going to tell you that. Look it up, try it out, and thank me later. Because trust you, life transformation. Okay, after I did that meditation technique, literally changed my life. That technique has held me up in some of my darkest, most lowest points in life. I will tell you, I've already told you all about when I lost everything. I had this pretty, well-paying job. I was doing so well, like on top of the world, just like living life and really enjoying all of the hard work I feel like I'd done before. And I was, just kind of enjoying life, and then lost that job, and just everything snowballed after that. Just lost one thing after the other, as a result of that. And that one day I was, because it was really heavy. I was heavy. Everything was heavy. I was so depressed at that time, just because I've never gone through that was traumatic for me. I'd never gone through anything like that, and honestly didn't know how to process it. And of course I was still doing my yoga, but it just wasn't enough, and I needed something more. To take that edge off that I was still kind of holding on to. And it was that yoga, it was meditation. And I just started to one night I was sitting in there, because I swear to goodness, it seemed like every night I was crying myself to sleep. I was just so depressed. And there was this one night, and I just stopped, at the end of my crying, my crying episode, I just stopped, took some deep breaths, and then that just led into one thing, led into the other, into the other, into the other. I'd always meant I would do the alternate nostril breathing, but I hadn't really ventured too far into the Kachari Mudra. So I did that night, and oh my gosh, talk about a rush, talk about a high, talk about a dopamine hit of something fantastic. Man, I swear to goodness, I'm telling you all, I literally feel like I transported to somewhere else. I swear to goodness. I'm not even exaggerating this. This is how powerful this technique is. So try that. Definitely changed my life. I went to sleep later that night, woke up so refreshed, had it all figured out. I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do. I know what I want to do. And that's when I decided I'm not going to keep stressing myself out, looking for another job and getting upset every time, there's another rejection. And I just didn't want to keep putting myself through that. And I'm like, I want my time back. I want my mind back. I want my time back. I want all of my skills back. I want everything back for myself. And so that's what I did. I said, I'm going to just do my own thing. I'm going to do my own business. Pass or fail, whatever, I'm going to do it. And and that's what I did. So for the next decade, that's literally what I did. No regrets at all. But it was definitely that defining moment when I decided to kind of shift my meditation practice and go a little deeper, is when I discovered that it definitely changed my life for the better forever. Like, I'm now, whenever I'm having one of those times, I know that that's something that I can do and is what I actually do. So, and that leads me to my third one, essentialism. Now, I know it's like a buzzword right now. Everyone's using it. It's trendy. It's nothing new for me, though. Honestly, I think culturally it's nothing new. It's really not. It's just going back to basics, going back to the essentials, focusing on what matters to you. And that's what I did. That was definitely one of my better healthy habits as well. Just essentialism, just going down to what's essential for me. What do I love? What makes me feel good? What makes me light up? What makes me feel inspired? That's what I did. I just kind of tuned into that. And that's honestly, that also took me through the 10 years, because running your own business, guys, has highs and lows, peaks and valleys. It's like a it's like your pulse rate. It's the stock charts. It's like up and down, like your bank account, up and down. When you run your own business, it's just part of it, and you kind of get used to it after a while. But it definitely it's not always all like the best thing ever. It's stressful as hell, but I don't know, it's something about the high or something, the dopamine fix maybe, I don't know, that just keeps you doing it. I don't even know, but it was something that for me that was essential. And so it was an essential aspect of life that I needed to explore. And so I did. That was one of the things I did. And then obviously, when I lost my job, I had to scale back on some of the material things. Like, just can't be just shopping until you drop, like, all the time, like I was doing. I mean, I can't just be I don't know, eating out as much and stuff like that. Just kind of had to bring it back to the basics. And it made me tune into what really mattered to me instead of being so externally focused all the time. And so that was a really huge benefit and a huge hack, for just a healthy way to enjoy your life and to take stock of what you have and to kind of feel good about that and not be doing all this comparative stuff, like comparing yourself and what you have to the next person and all that. It really makes you be present and hone into what really is important to you. And next, because you all, like I said, the eating out thing, this kind of goes into my next one, veganism. Oh my goodness. Now, I have been vegan as long as I have been a yogi. And that came a little after I became a yogi. So, but they kind of go hand in hand. I don't know. Somehow the yogi lifestyle evolved into it. I don't even know. It just kind of did. But I don't know. I guess I just got to grow closer to nature and I don't know, all the aspects of that, and just loving and having an empathy and a love and a kindness of desire to have. Now, talk about a healthy habit. So veganism definitely came about for me as a result of a health issue. All the while I was younger, I would just have these bouts of illness all the time. Nobody really knew why, but just seemed like every time, I don't know, it seemed like every time I would go to a function, or sometimes maybe I didn't go to a function, maybe it was just something I ate. It always seemed to be something I ate, and I'm sorry, but it was always meat-based. And every time would get so sick. And it wasn't just like, oh, sick, oh, I have a tummy ache, mom. No. It was like hospitalized sick. And I was just so tired of being sick. So the last time I was in college, and I was just so done. Oh my gosh, you all, I ended up in the hospital. I missed like most of the semester. That's how I was like in the hospital so long. And I was so upset, I was like, what the hell,
I thought that was it. Like, I'm up here like, oh wow, this is how it ends. Like, dang, I didn't even get to live life yet. I just felt like this is the worst ever. Like, the hell, what's my story? I don't even have one yet. I just thought that was the end of life. I just literally felt like I was knocking on death's door. I was that bad off, and I was so tired. I felt like a probe or something. Like I was being probed. I was so tired of all these different doctors coming in and all these tests, and no one knew what was wrong, and it was so annoying. But anyway, all of that to say that after it was, one doctor finally figured figured out what it was. That was making me sick. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so done. So I wanted to explore some new dietary options, and that's what led me to veganism. I was drawn to it naturally when I learned more about it. I was like, this sounds like something I can do. Now, you all, it was not easy. It may be a healthy habit, but it's not an easy habit, okay? Because I've been eating meat all my life, and I'm still around it. I still crave it and stuff like that. It's not very easy. And back then, that was like 2 decades ago, all these vegan options we have now, they did not exist. All you had was peas and rice, or stuff like that. You didn't really have soup. Oh my gosh, I made vegetable soup all the time. Peas and rice, just like the same food over and over. Oatmeal for breakfast, or cream of wheat or whatever for breakfast, just something like that. But it was just like this the same food over and over, and it was always like oh my gosh, I made dry beans like all the time, because like we ate so many beans that it was just, it didn't make sense to buy the cans, because that got to be costly. And so yeah, I just got the dry beans, and you had all this prep work. It takes so long to make the dry beans, and it was just like a whole thing. But it was very trying. At the same time, I was so into it. I was so amped up about it, and I never turned back. And I have just evolved this whole time. I just kept evolving in my veganism, in my journey, and learning more about myself and challenging myself, which leads me to my next healthy habit that changed my life: fasting. Oh my goodness, there's no way you can be vegan and you have not done fasting. Like, I don't know who out there that's their story. I don't know. That doesn't exist. If you're vegan, you have definitely done fasting. Mostly, honestly, when you even transition to veganism, you should fast first, like, because it's too hard. Like, you gotta detox yourself from all that stuff, so you won't be having these cravings and keep folding and stuff like that. It's just easier if you just detox first. So anyway, fasting, definitely healthy habit that changed my life. I don't even have to go on too much about that, you all, because I've talked to you all to death about fasting. So I'm sure you all know, like, it's my thing. Okay, you need clarity on something, do a fast. You got some health issues, do a fast. You need to lose weight, do a fast. Like, it's just like the solution to everything. It's like the ultimate of solutions. So like, why the hell not do a damn fast? And so I love fasting. It's something that it changed my life, because it made me so disciplined. It really gave me willpower. Made me more confident. Man, let me tell you, the first time I did a fast, I just thought I was invincible. I was like, oh, man, if it was the apocalypse today, I am ready, okay? I have done this. Because, look, you all, so the first time I did a fast. It was for 7 days. And I thought, oh, my God, I'm, like, really the shit, okay? Like, she did that. I did a little 7 days, and I just thought I was doing it. And it was this brother I was dating at the time. They kind of talked me into it, and I was like, I don't know about that. That seems like a lot. And so he's like, well, okay. At first we can just do 3 days, and and then we'll see how you feel after that. So that's we actually started off as for 3 days. And look, I'm gonna tell you all, okay, a couple that fast together grows together. It's really a healthy relationship habit. Like, really, I felt like you really bond, because you're like going through this struggle, like you're craving stuff, and struggling to resist folding, and you're building up your willpowers together and stuff like that. It's like really, it's awesome for relationships. Definitely, it's a double. You get the healthy habit for yourself and your relationship. So yes, definitely, you all going through a rocky patch fast together. Like you all get some clarity and stuff. Yes, and make some other things, better. So definitely try that in your relationship. But yeah, anyway, so I got through the third day it's like the build up to the third day is like the most difficult. It's not until you get over the hump of that third day. That fourth day, then you're smooth sailing after that. Smooth sailing after that third day, but it's that third day that is so difficult. So that's why he even suggests, he did a fast all the time. So he kind of brought me on board. I hadn't done it before. And so his thing was, well, I fast, because that's where I got it from. Like when I fast at every quarter, that I got it from him, because he does it at every solstice, every equinox, he does a fast. So that time, I was like, okay, I mean, if you're doing it, I guess I'll have to do it too, because otherwise I'm gonna feel bad for eating all in front of you and stuff like that. So I was like, I'll just do it too. So anyway, so I went on and did it and changed my life forever. Just the immense clarity that I gain every time I do a fast. I can't even articulate to you how invaluable that is. I mean, that paired with the meditation, paired with the yoga, oh my goodness, like it's like the whole triad of power. I feel like a superhero when I'm doing all three of those things all together. Oh my goodness, you can't tell her anything. So yes, and then that leads me to the sixth and final, wait a minute, is that 5 or 6? I don't even know. I've been rambling so much. I don't even know. I wasn't counting. I think it's 6. The sixth healthy habit that changed my life: self-discipline. I'm not even sure that's like a thing, but I feel like it's a habit though. It is a healthy habit. And it is, for me, it is a thing. It may not be like some tangible thing or something that you like necessarily do, like an activity or anything like that. It's just a way of life, just being self-disciplined. And yoga obviously leads you to be self-disciplined. Meditation leads you to be self-disciplined. Veganism leads you to be self-disciplined. Essentialism leads you to be self-disciplined. Fasting leads you to be self-disciplined. Literally all those things kind of all lead up to the self-discipline. The healthiest habit of all. I mean, no matter what is going on, be self-disciplined. Will yourself to do what is good for you. Will yourself to live the life you want to live in the way that you want to live around who you want to live around, to be who you want to be, when you want to be who you want to be. All of that. That's all self-discipline. Moderation. All good things in moderation, everything. I love self-discipline as a healthy habit because it is so essential. You're not even doing it if you don't have self-discipline. Success only comes by way of self-discipline. You will not realize an ounce of success without self-discipline. It will not happen. Self-discipline is that thing that's just kind of back there in the background, but it's holding it all down, holding it all together. You have to have it. You can't get anywhere without that. You won't make anything come true without self-discipline. You want to buy a house, but you got to get self-discipline. You got to stop, you got to kind of get your spending habits under control. You want to lose weight, you got to get self-discipline. You can't just be eating whatever you want. You got to work out, like everything. It's like the foundation to everything. Every type of success imaginable starts with self-discipline. So that is my absolute key healthy habit that changed my life. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I absolutely, as you can see, enjoy doing it. I have to do more like this. Please comment below on any other suggestions of videos that I can do like this, because I really, I'm getting, the more I do these chit chats, the more I'm kind of getting into my rhythm with this thing, and like getting a feel for like, how I want this to go, what I want it to look like. I'm getting more clarity here, and I'm really feeling it. Like, can you all tell? I'm getting there. But definitely help me out in the comments if you all come up with some more topics like this, because I love this. Like, this is my thing. This is what makes me light up. So definitely be sure to do that. If you have not already done so, subscribe to this channel, turn on your post notifications so that you know when I post. If you enjoy the content here, give it a thumbs up, you all. It helps my channel so much. You have no idea. I really adore you all much. So much, so much, so much. Thank you all for the comments. Thank you all for the love. Thank you all for the warm energy. Thank you all, beautiful, warm spirits out there, for all that you are and all that you will expand and grow into. I love you all bunches and bunches and bunches. I will see you all next time. Sunflower smooches, peace and love. Mwah.